Hi everyone, it is Katrina Spagnoletti and I am here, Mrs.Hillsborough County, and I am so excited about my guest that is coming on, taking time to teach me a little bit more about Hillsborough County as well as Florida. So I'm sorry I'm a little late, but we wanted to make sure that Jesse was where he needed to be, I'm where I'm supposed to be, and you guys are where you're supposed to be. It's Friday. Happy Friday. You know, I haven't heard anything, I haven't seen a lot on social media these days about Friday. I mean, what's going on? I mean, I want to see that people are still having a great time, even though we're quarantined right now. But I want to make sure you guys are having such a great time. Florida is such an amazing place. As you can see, Tony and I have gotten back on our bikes, and we are having so much fun. And I try to take a walk. So, hey, Jocelyn, how you doing, girl? I'm seeing some people come on. Hi, everyone. Wave. Oh, I see all these waves. Hi. I'm going to wave like the queen I am right now. Happy Friday. What are you guys doing? For the next, I want to make sure, I'm actually looking to make sure, because he's going to come on live in a few minutes. I want to make sure that I am not going to miss his request to come on. And you know my eyes. If you guys ever go on a live with me, you know I have like the worst eyes in the world. So it's hard to see. So I want to make sure. But I want to know, what's everybody doing on this quarantine Friday? I mean, they're letting us out a little bit at a time. You know, I've said to people so many times that Florida is a great place to be quarantined because you have so much space when you go walking. You can practice social distancing whether you want to or not. So it's great. And Tony and I have gotten to a point where we get back on our bikes and we're riding our bikes again. So I'm really excited. And a couple of people have actually been on or DM'd me. It sounds so odd to say DM'd me and said they really enjoy it and they really miss Tony and I being out on our bikes. So now you guys get to see so much, especially if we stay on quarantine. But hey, Zayda, how you doing, girl? I'm excited with her because she's awesome. I love her. She is actually one of my sash sisters, and I actually learned that phrase from her, my sash sister, because we both have sashes and we're both competing for the same title and more. So, pageantry is not all about it's about having a sisterhood, and she's going to be my sister forever because I have ones from Virginia and I still love them and keep in touch with them and support them, and I miss them so much. So, hi, Vida. How are you? You gorgeous, gorgeous woman. So, everyone, we're gonna wait for Jesse to come on, but I'm excited about something. Not only about Jesse, because he's awesome. He's actually running in District 15 for a Senate seat, and he wants to make a difference in Hillsborough County, just like I do. So I think social media is amazing. I think that's how we first got together. He requested me for us to do something together. Now that we're in quarantine, we have to be very creative with our community service. And as you guys know, I actually have a virtual food bank with Feeding Tampa Bay, and I'm raising $500 to make sure that this is the correct term for it, not families in need, which they are, but families who are food insecure, which means that it's not only the quarantine, every day they struggle to make ends meet and to feed their families. And I have to admit, when I was in Virginia, I was a single mom at one point, and I actually had to go to a food bank to feed my family as well. So I understand what it's like to be a single parent or to be a parent that has fallen on hard times, and you do have to take your pride, kind of put it aside to feed your children. So I understand that, and that's why I picked that particular Feeding Tampa Bay, because I understand as a single parent, I'm not now, but when my kids were little, I needed to feed them, and I had to put my pride aside and go do what I needed to do. So that's why I decided to do Feeding Tampa Bay, and plus I'm in Tampa Bay. So if you guys have the time, here's Jesse. Jesse, I'm going to need you to request to join me on this. If you can do that, hopefully you'll see the button that says request. Hi, Jesse. I see him right now, and it's Jesse for Congress. So if you can hit that button, then there he goes. So guys, I'm going to bring him on right now, and you're going to learn so much from this young man. Yes, he's much younger than me. This young man, so I can't help but say that. This young man, I've had conversations with him on the phone as well as for Congress. Go follow him so you guys can see where his platform is, what he wants to do, learn a little history about him because he has a great history and you're going to learn so much about it. Look at the little flag. Okay, so this is Mr. Jesse. How are you? Oh, you
How
look
you
very,
doing?
very nice. Now,
Thank you.
I'm going to, you always have to adjust because I want to make sure that my head is not cut off. You've done the right thing. There you go. All right. So we are there, but you can't see my sash. But everyone, this is Jesse. Jesse for Congress. Make sure that you guys go and follow him because he is a phenomenal person, a phenomenal young man. And I want him to introduce himself and let us know a little bit about him and exactly what he's doing right now. So, Jesse, you have the floor.
Thank you so much, Mrs.Hillsborough. I appreciate it. My name is Jesse Philippe. I'm running for United States Congress District 15. A little background about myself. I started my service when I joined the United States Marine Corps. I know Mrs. Hillsborough's husband's a Marine. So
Yes,
we
he
have
is.
that.
Hoorah, if I'm allowed to
Hoorah.
say that. Hoorah.
Yes, you are. You're allowed. And so that's why one of the many ways why we connected. So I served 6 years in the Marine Corps. When I was in the Marine Corps, I served in Iraq. Um,
Wow.
while when I came back from Iraq, I decided, how do I still get back to my community? Because I was raised in Tampa, Florida. I went to King High School locally, played
Okay.
football. So what I did was I decided to go to law school and inspire people. So
Yes.
while I was in law school, I did so many different public sector jobs. I worked in the Department of Children and Families, where I helped connect families together after
Okay.
a hard tra- a hard transition for them
Okay.
in their lives. I also worked in the state attorney's office, where I helped state attorneys and people who were in criminal trouble. And
Okay.
then I also worked in the Department of Revenue. So I did a lot of public sector jobs in Florida while I was in law school. And all those different jobs gave me the experience to understand what people really need. And I feel like a lot of our foundation is started in the home.
Yes.
So one of the reasons why I decided to join this race and to get into Congress is because I feel like a lot of our representatives don't represent the average middle class America.
Okay.
So for me, it was important to have a voice coming, from my background a little bit by myself. My mother, she's of Haitian descent, and she came here to America, and she worked, as a nurse for 2 or 3 jobs at a time to try to feed us
Wow.
and provide for us. So for me, I'm here because of her. So I understand the sacrifice it takes someone to make it in America. I've lived,
Yes.
every facet of life, and I believe that I can bring that experience to Congress, my experience of how I was raised, how my value system, and what I think will help the average American. So that's a little bit, well, that was a quick, brief summary of who I am.
Well, I think
Yeah.
it's great. I think we have a connection. Definitely, a lot of the things. I had a single. My mom was a single mom as well. I don't know how old you are 'cause I called you that young man. I don't know
Thank
how
you.
old you are, but I think it's just to see the youth out here and the accomplishments that you have, and coming from a single family like that, a single mother family, or however you put it, like that, and just have those accomplishments. And I have 3 boys myself, and to hear you give a lot of the props to your mom, and just makes me so proud to be a mom because I know how that is. The fact that you served in the Marine Corps, I mean, you really do have a vision of what you want to do. I mean, you have a lot of platforms. I've gone on your website, and if you guys want to learn a little bit more about him and his platforms, you can go on his platforms. But you are involved with veterans, teachers. I mean, I think that's great because right now they're really stepping up to the plate, and they are, because my neighbor, his girlfriend is a teacher, and she tells me a lot about what these kids are going through and how you have to be a self-starter when you're at home and to do your homework and stuff. They're still so immature it's difficult for them to like get up and do that. So she tells me about how she really has to put 180% of effort right now into making sure that her students are okay and they're doing well in school. The fact that you deal with veterans is absolutely amazing, because my husband is a veteran and he tells me a lot about what he does. But there's also other things that you have interest in and you want to help in Hillsborough County. What are they?
Well, there's so much we have to do as a county, right now.
Okay, I think. Uh-huh.
and and making sure that we use it effectively. Um, I know we live in a time right now, it's all partisan politics, and a lot
Yes,
of people, they want to be
unfortunately.
Republican,
Yeah.
they're Democrats, but we all have common things that
Yeah.
bother us.
Yeah.
Like when we wake up in the morning, we get on I-4 corridor in Hillsborough County, we're like, man, it's backed up. And I don't think you don't have to be red, you don't have to be blue. You see that it's backed up.
Exactly.
And the same thing with the 301. So one of the major things that I thought was important to me was to fix our infrastructure.
Yes.
One of the things that our infrastructure we can do is improve our roads, expand our roads. I mean, Tampa Bay area is one of the fastest growing areas in the whole entire country.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of that, a lot of that growth is great, but at the same time, it causes congestion. And that congestion causes stress. It causes a lot of things, and it causes a
Yeah.
lot of people to be late. Obviously, that's the most important thing. And so we have to do what's best, for the county. So that's one of the platforms I think is important, is fixing the infrastructure.
Yeah.
Another point issue I thought was important, and you maybe can chime on it a little bit, is domestic violence. I think I posted something yesterday
You did.
on
You did.
on Facebook in regards to that. I think that issue is not being, brought to the forefront a lot right now. I know Corona is taking over everyone's lives, and it's important. Corona is very important. Stay healthy, but at the same time, there's still a lot of people hurting. A lot
Yeah.
of homes are being destroyed by violence, and and I don't know if you could talk to that, but that for me, I think that's the most important issue that we need to fix. We need to create legislation to give people the support that they need so
Oh
that
yeah,
they can.
definitely.
Yeah, that's
Definitely.
important to me. So I don't know. You can tell me a little bit more in
Well,
regards to what
I
you
can
feel
tell you
about
this.
that.
I have read about the domestic violence, how it's gotten a lot higher since we've been, quarantined and everything. I personally have never gone through domestic violence, but we have spoke about it. My platform is Voices. I reach out to people and I tell them my story of child sexual abuse by a family member, actually by two family members, and I want to educate people on how to use their voice, because that's all we have. That's our biggest protection. That's our most powerful weapon, is our voice. When I was younger, if I knew what I know now, I would have used my voice. And it took me about 55, well, 30 some years. Yeah, 30 some years in order to even talk about it. When I first ran for Mrs. Virginia in 2018, I was terrified to make that my platform because I was scared. I didn't sit down and talk to my mom. I didn't communicate with anybody really. I would tell people about it. And it's the same thing with domestic violence. A lot of women and even men are ashamed to say anything. They're scared of not being trusted or believed. They're scared of the shame that they have. They're afraid. I was protecting my mother. Like, I didn't want her to know that there was someone there that she brought into the home and she loved and she trusted, and that person was not who she thought he was. And I was so terrified as a child to think that my mom would like not believe me or take his side. I just didn't want to like face that. And I know a lot of people who go through domestic violence, it's the same way. It's the same way. Or and I think a lot of them are mentally beat down to a point where they're afraid of their abuser. They're terrified of their abuser. They're terrified of what's going to happen. I'm actually, I'm actually writing a book about it right now while we're in quarantine, so that I can open up a little bit more about, well, a lot more about what happened. And I'm hoping that so women are out there or men are out there that read the book and that they come out, because we have to use our voice in order to inspire and motivate other people. And when I saw your video, I think I saw something where you were saying that there was a small child or a teenager that was being abused.
So yeah, so when at the state attorney office, I had a lot of access to a lot of trials, and one of the ones I was on, I was in on, was a father. He abused his 12-year-old daughter, and that, that stuck with me for a very long time, because it was sad, and I can see the daughter's face and the mistrust, and the mom was a part of it, and a whole family was ruined because, you know, because there was no accountability.
Yeah.
There was no love there. And to me, that was the most toughest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's kind of one of the reasons why I decided to get in races, because I feel like our families are being really attacked nowadays. It's a quick drive-by media. It's quick drive-by people. It's very quick. And yeah, I'm young, but but I
You're
still,
younger than me.
yeah, well, but
That's what it is.
no, but it still was, it's still important. Family, the family is the foundation of all, what makes people great. Every great person had a great family or great wife behind them, supporting them, and vice versa. Every great woman had a great husband supporting them. So,
and vice versa,
yeah. So family is the most important thing. I think that's the foundation, our rock as a country. And I think right now those values are being attacked. And that's one of the reasons why I jumped in this race, is because I want to do something about it. I want to make a difference in terms of what I can do, in helping families and giving back and providing the support they need, providing teachers the support they need, because, those are important to me. So yeah, those are some of the common things that I think we share in common is,
definitely.
keeping
And of
that
course,
family ties.
I wasn't in the military, but my husband was in, and I hear all the stories. Oh my goodness, all the stories. And I forgot to thank you for your service, because I have so much respect. I've never dated or been with anyone in the military, and being with my husband for 7 years, I've learned so much. I've learned so how, he's so brave, and he still has his battle scars. There's a lot that he had gone through being in the military, but he's a very, very proud Marine. I mean, he really is. And whenever we go to a football game, whenever they have Veterans Day and they celebrate the veterans, when he stands up in the crowd, I just want to cry sometimes, but I get so proud to be his wife. Like, it just means so much to me to see the pride that he has, and how he loves to be recognized as a former Marine, or it's just amazing. But also, we did touch on off Instagram a lot about the whole domestic violence. My platform, you're just another part of my platform, of us working together, where we can talk about things that have happened. We have so much in common. Your mom, being a single mom, I understand what it's like to be a single mom. Before you got on, I was just saying about and thank you again, you and your campaign, for the donation for my virtual food bank at Feeding Tampa Bay. The fact that, I was a single mom at one point with maybe 2 kids, I think, two of my children. And no, it was actually 3. And I remember having to put my pride aside to go to one of those food banks to feed my family. And I have so much pride and so much independence, and I just think I can do anything. It takes so much to be able to say, okay, I need help. And to have people like us, and also I have to give credit to the delegates of Mrs. Florida America and Mrs. Florida for America, because we've got the Ms. I always say the younger girls. We all have a platform, and we're all out there helping, making masks. I mean, I think that's amazing. I belong to a group of women called the Project Mask, that will make how many masks you ever need, and they'll send them out. I've worked with them. I'm actually working for Dress for Success, getting masks to them so that they could give it to their clients. So people like us, volunteerism is so important. I mean, I've seen your calendar. You're everywhere. You're speaking everywhere. You're really out there, making sure that people know who you are. What are some things that what is one of your favorite things that you did while you were out there? What is the most touching? Let's say that. What is the most touching thing you've done in this campaign so far?
Um, for me, the most touching thing that I think we've done is we helped we help citizens doing this EIDL program and PPP program. So our campaign, we're pretty much focused on the connection of people, you know.
Okay,
So
which is great.
so what we try to do is if someone has a problem, they have a way to contact us directly.
Good.
And that, I think that's different in politics because a lot of politicians are not accessible.
Hmm.
And I stress to my team, and my team stressed to me back, how we have to be there for people.
Yeah.
So when the EIDL PPP program came in place, a lot of people didn't understand the program.
Now,
So,
before you go on, what
mhm.
exactly is that program? Because
so
some of
that
us don't know what it is.
okay, yeah. So the program is essentially, it was when it's when government came out with a plan. They came out with the CARES Act.
Okay.
The CARES Act. So essentially, when the coronavirus hit, it took an economic impact on the
Oh,
whole country.
definitely, definitely.
Yeah. So the Congress passed the CARES Act to help individuals. This which allows $1,200 a month come
Yeah.
to each individual. And tied to that was support for small businesses. So a
Yes.
majority of our small business owners are minorities and people who are less, fortunate than others. They need that program
Yes.
to keep themselves going because they're living month to month. They're living check to check. So, so some of the program was a little confusing, and a lot of people didn't understand how it worked. So what our
Okay.
campaign did was we opened up. We actually partnered with CFLBDC, which is a organization out of Polk County,
Okay.
which help small business owners give us a call, and we would email them and call them and give them information in terms of how they can access this government program to help them pay their bills during this epidemic. Unfortunately, we helped, but they're still constantly working and tweaking the
Yes.
program. So
Yes.
people have been asking us, communicating with us, what do we do now? What's the next step? So these are the things that I was touching to me because I felt like we were playing the role of government.
Yes.
We saw a need, we presented a need to people, and we told them, hey, we're here to help you. And whatever we can do to help you, that's what we did. And I'm the most proud of that because I feel like it stands to the core of what we are and what we believe in this campaign, which is every person counts, every human life
Absolutely.
over profits any day. So that's what I was most proud of.
Well, I can tell you, my one of my sponsors, Parade Hats and More, they're actually in Brandon, Florida. I absolutely love Renee Adams Wood. She's the founder. Her and her husband are the founder of that. Of course, Parade Hats and More. They carry clothing, but they also carry a lot of the pirate hats and pirate gear. I was actually on their float for Gasparilla, which was so much fun. So we're part of the organization now, but they actually did take a turn and they have to shut their business down. It just happens so quickly. And
Mm.
when I sit down with Renee, because I was actually with her yesterday, when I sit down with her, she is a business person. She has been working so hard to figure out how to save her business. I mean, I've seen firsthand what this has been doing to small businesses. A lot of the money is being allocated towards a lot of the huge businesses like the of course airports, um, what do you call it, aircrafts, things like that. But it's the people who are struggling are those small businesses. So I'm glad that you said that because I would love to give Renee your phone number or your information so that she can call you and see if there's something, because she was actually the employee and they didn't pay themselves.
Mhm.
So, and they've only been in business for 3 years, so that really hurt her. It's very difficult for her to stay on top of the water because of what's going on now. Now you have put out something I reposted about what is going to open. What are your thoughts on that? Like, what are your thoughts on reopening up? I will tell you, I want to stay safe.
Yeah.
I'm going to be hurt. I'm going to be the person that's
Hmm.
like, no, I'm going to look and see if everybody else goes outside, and then I'll go outside because I have a grandbaby and I don't even want to be a carrier. So
Hmm.
I'm going to be very cautious. And I think that the plan that they have to open it gradually is okay. I'm personally happy with it. What are your thoughts with that?
Um, like I said, our campaign is really focused on human life.
Hmm.
So when we start off, when you first start off reestablishing an economic development again, you have to factor in, okay, how do we get the most people back to work and do it in the most safe and the most effective way? One of the things that I suggested was that we slowly implement this plan, which our governor right now is currently
Yeah,
doing.
yeah,
So what I believe it is the right step,
yeah.
but what we need to do is keep in mind that everything is based on data. We
Right.
can't do everything based on emotion. And right now we have some leaders, not all, some leaders are being very emotional about the decision, and they're opening up too fast and they're risking people's lives. And some people are being more thoughtful about the process and they're slowly opening the economy. And I think that's the best way. So I'm for the economy opening back up, but
Hmm. Oh,
in a
definitely.
small and effective way. Because at the end of the day, I'm going coronavirus crazy. So I imagine everybody else going coronavirus crazy.
Well, I
So
can tell you,
everyone's
I
doing
think Florida is one of the best places in the world to be quarantined
that.
because it's so beautiful. And, whenever my husband and I go for a bike ride, we really don't see anybody.
Yeah.
Whenever I go for my walk every day, I don't really see anybody. So I see that people are actually being safe. And I do agree with the governor and what he's doing. But I also feel like individually, we've got to be safe as well. Even if we're reopening, I think we just want to be safe and courteous to other people.
Mm-hmm.
I wear a mask when I'm out in public. Uh, sometimes I might get a little irritated with it and it comes off. I'm only human. But I just think that I will tell you, I see more good than I do bad. And
Yes.
I
Yes.
really do. And I think, we as a nation, we have come together a lot, and it's just so nice to see so many things. But I'm the kind that everything that I do on social media, all the people that I follow are like giving and caring. So
Mm-hmm.
I see a lot more than what maybe is out there with other people that other people see. So
Yeah.
I cater my social media, and that's another question I want to ask you. What do you think? How do you think social media can work as a positive for us? Because I know how it is.
Yeah.
All of mine is positive. How do you make it so it's positive? Because you're in the political world and you have your political views that
Mm-hmm.
other people don't have. So
Yeah.
how do you cater your social media to make sure that you can run a good campaign in a positive way?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, it's a balancing act. We for our campaign, we try to put out truthful information. That's the most important thing. Right now, Facebook is becoming two facets of,
Yeah,
of sides. It's you're getting one extreme and the next extreme.
yeah,
And, we have to be more socially conscious and understand the dangers of social medias
yeah,
by misleading people and not verifying that the information is actually accurate. Um, that's on a that's in terms of journalism and truth matter. In terms of being positive and showing love,
yeah.
that's us humans. That's what we have to do. We always have to show love. I mean, I think that we have to go back to our basic foundation, which is to love one another
We do.
and communicate with one another and in a loving way. Because I mean, I've been in dinner tables where my uncle said something crazy, and I've been like, and you be like, this is
The
not
crazy
1950,
uncle.
right? We're like, this is not 1950. We can't think like that, you know. But at the end of the day, I still love him. He's my
Yeah,
uncle.
yeah,
I still respect him. I still show him, the love for him. So we have to understand that. That's what social
Yeah,
media is. It's about, there's a social part of it where it's about love and
it
communication with each
is.
other.
It is.
And we have to start opening our ears up and be like, yeah, I may disagree with you, but I'm gonna support you. Like for example, I have one of my closest friends, the Marines. He's a Republican,
Uh-huh.
and he goes on my Facebook like every 3 days and be like, "Bro, I think you're so wrong for everything that you believe." But I love the fact that you're getting involved, and he
Yes.
donated, and he
And that's
donated,
what it's all about.
yeah, and
It
he
really
donated,
is.
and he's a Republican. So for me, it doesn't matter what party you are. It just,
Yeah.
you have to love each other, and no matter what walk of life you come from, you could be, Haitian or Haitian heritage or myself, or you
Yeah.
can be from Cuba, or it doesn't
Yeah.
even matter. At the end of the day, we're all human,
We
and
are.
once we figure out that formula, that missing formula in social media, which is love,
Hmm.
that is where we're gonna start seeing changes, and
Yeah.
we have to just continue to love each other, and that's
We
the best
do.
way we do that.
We do. Because
Yeah.
I might not agree with everything I see,
Mhm.
but um I take it as a learning tool because I don't know everything.
Yeah.
I don't know everything. And I want to make sure if someone puts something out there, I need to learn. I do this crazy thing where I'll look at it and it might tweak me a little bit, but then I go and I start researching. And I'm like, wow, I didn't know that. And it makes me a smarter person. And I think people need to understand that. Don't just take one person's opinion, put it in your head, and think that's the end of it. You've got to be able to do research, and that only makes for a smarter person. You have to be patient. Right now, I honestly feel that we have to take advantage right now of learning how to be patient with one
Mhm.
another. Because once you learn patience, it is so easy to learn from other people. There's just so much judgment and everything in the world, and I think that's unfortunate. And that's something I try to back up. I'm human, and I'll make human mistakes and human things. But the thing is that if I see something that I don't like, you got to learn from that. And because I've asked you, we've had private conversations about. I've said, do you work with, do you have friends or have associates in different parties that you can work with, and that can teach you part of what they're thinking and why they think it, because that's so important right now that we learn from each other. And like I said, I've seen so many great things that have come out of here from all the tragedy, because it is just I sometimes I think I'm living in a dream when it comes to what's going on in the now, that this is not real, because I'm seeing real stories from real people. I don't bother with going to the news. I might scroll down and have someone say a prayer for my family, because my mother, and grandfather, my aunt and uncle, a client of mine, her aunt and uncle died in this 1 week, and then another week, and the son has the virus. It's like those are the stories that I go, wait a minute, I got to remember we're all human. This is hitting closer and closer to home. I'm so blessed that my kids, anyone that I love, I don't have that. And no one contracted the disease or the virus. So I have been truly blessed. And I think it's a blessing when we come out of this and we're healthy, that, yeah, we got to look at this a little different.
Yeah.
We got to look at life a little different right now, because it's
Yeah.
it's crucial. We don't want to go back to where we used to be. And right now, and I don't feel that we're where we used to be. I honestly don't, because I see too much good coming out of this. So now you have other platforms. I know I can't remember everything right now, but I know
Mhm.
you have a couple. You have a couple of other. I know you work with seniors, right?
Yeah. So one of my things is Social Security. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's a very, very important tool.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of my friends, their parents are older, and I see that they're struggling. I mean, Social Security checks right now are about $1,200 a month. So
Yeah.
same amount that people got in a stimulus check that we all laughed at, it's the same amount older people are living off of,
Yeah.
and they live off it every month. And so one of the things that I'm passionate about, and when I hope to bring to Congress, is a bill that establishes funding more Social Security for the elderly. That's important
Okay.
to me. I feel like I've always been taught that you treat your parents and the loved ones and your grandparents with the respect that they gave you when they
Yes.
raised you.
Yes.
So
Yes.
Yeah, so I understand that's how crucial it is, so that we fund that and we keep our, keep our, not even, at crazy levels, but just keep it at a level where people can actually survive off that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, and I feel like a lot of time our elderly is just kind of written off in society.
Yeah.
And that to me is wrong. And I think that we need to continue to fund Social Security, and we need to continue to strengthen that system to make it
Yeah.
last for even to my generation.
Yeah, because worrying about your parents is, I mean, I worry enough about my mom, and she's fine. She worked
Yeah.
for the post office for like 28 years.
Oh, yeah, she
She's
good.
she is the most incredible person when it comes to money. It's
Mhm.
amazing. I actually sent her flowers the other day because I know she's by herself, and she volunteers at the senior center in Virginia, in Culpeper, Virginia, and I know
Mhm.
she's by herself, and I know she wants to like make sure that she comes out of this okay, because she has a great grandson, so we both love him to death. And I sent her flowers just to let her know that I'm thinking about her and I love her. But she's fine, but she does take care of other seniors, their finances, and she tells me some horrible stories. She really does. But if one thing I will say is this: we live by Sun City, and I know it's a huge community of senior citizens. One thing I'll say is this: is that if we have any time as volunteers to go once this is over, because right now they're in high risk, to go and like go visit them, because a lot of the kids, they do push their parents to the wayside. I'm crossing my fingers my kids won't do that to me. So,
Yeah,
but
I
I,
don't
I
think they
can
will.
see, yeah, because when I was in Virginia, I was personal training on a personal person to person. Right now, I do it online. But I had one client that would come in 3 days a week, and the reason she would come is because no one would come, and none of her kids visited her, or she would always worry about money. And we had a program there that it was called Silver Sneakers, where they would come in for free and they would get trained for free. So I was the only one that she had to talk to. She would come and exercise every day for like 3 times a week for 2 years, just so she would have someone to talk to. And we became incredible friends, and she's like my one of my BFFs. I love her to death. So I see a lot of the tragic that happens when it comes to being a senior and being by yourself. And right now it's really hard because they're by themselves, by themselves. It's not, they have no one to help them right now. So it's really sad. And I'm really happy that you are working with Social Security to make sure that they're okay. I
Yeah.
really am. So, well, we're going to wrap this up. If you have anything else to say, please say it. But I already forewarned you. I purchased this book. It is called, and I actually saw it on Facebook. Our Miss, let's see, let me get it right. Miss Florida for America, for Miss for Florida. Okay, that's a new category in the Mrs. America system.
Yeah.
So it's sometimes I forget because I'm not a part of it 100%.
Mhm.
She actually put this book up, and she said this would be great for us to study our we have interviews, so it'd be great for us to have people ask us questions, and they're just little silly questions, nothing like too crazy or anything. But I felt that it would give people a little bit of a chance to see like your personal Jesse side.
Oh, that's
So if
fine.
you don't mind, I'm just
Of
gonna
course.
randomly pick a couple of these that I've already pre-picked.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I want to ask you a couple of questions. They're very simple questions, but I want to see the
Yeah.
first thing that comes to your mind. Okay, if you could read minds, who would you read first?
Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Wow, that's an incredible one. We need to bottle that one up. And why?
Because he embodied a vision of greatness, and he did whatever he could to achieve it. And I think that the greatness that America can have and the vision that we would have is that everyone live in a prosperous life. And
Yeah,
so that's the vision I'm working towards. And I think that's a vision that I'm going to keep fighting for.
I think that's awesome. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
give you another one. Okay, I had it picked out. Okay, uh, what do you love about the internet? I love
Ooh,
that question.
I love Google and YouTube.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Google,
What do you look at YouTube in YouTube?
YouTube, how to do everything. I have a house. So I'm cheap. So those two things, YouTube is my best friend. I figure out how to do anything on YouTube.
Yeah.
So that's what I love about the internet. It's the learning aspect of it.
To learn, you can learn anything. And me being the 55-year-old woman that I am, going on, I cannot
Nice.
believe it. I sat back there today and I said, I will be 56 in a month and 18 days. This is so crazy. And you sit back and you say that to yourself. You're like, and in 4 years, I'm going to be 60. Like, this is what you think. This is how you think when you get older. and I just sat there, and everything that I see with the internet, like, we didn't have any of this.
Yeah.
We had, I don't know, 4 channels on TV. Like, this is crazy to be able to sit here and meet people the way you and I met. Like, that's amazing. And for you to be able to do all of your campaigning for free, and for me to still do community service, this is phenomenal to me. And I hope everybody understands that all of those crazy videos that are out there, take your time while you're sitting here, and you have an opportunity to create something that can make you stand apart from everybody else. This is the time to do it. And you're doing an amazing job. I mean, this is right here. And even we're great examples of that. And I hope we can show other people that this right here, the internet, is so amazing. So and yes, I've learned how to, like, put extensions in through YouTube, makeup through YouTube. So I understand the learning process. And my husband, he's very handy. That's what he calls himself, very handy. And he's
a Marine, of course.
Yeah, of course. But he's learned how to fix so many things in our forever home. So I absolutely agree with you when it comes to that. I absolutely love all this newfandangled thing. You guys grew up with it. We didn't. So
no, I grew up on AOL dial-up. I'm 32. So I still had the little noise making thing.
Did you have to pay for it?
Yeah.
Because when it first came out, you had to pay for it.
We paid $9.95.
And I think some people are still paying for it, to be honest. Yes, I think some people are still paying for it. So, well, let us know when the election is, because that's extremely important. So if you're in Hillsborough County, pay attention.
All right, guys. So the election is August 18th. So August 18th is going to be the day that we are running. You're voting in the primaries. Okay. Sorry, I just want to confirm the date. That's what I looked down. So August 18th. So August 18th is the day that the primaries are. This is a Democratic Party. I'm running the Democratic Party in Brandon, Lakeland, Plant City, Bartow, Claremont, Groveland, and so many others. So if you see my name, Jesse Philippe, I'm asking for your support humbly. If you want a society where the middle class people are making decisions that are we're making decisions for you. This is the campaign. I want you guys to join. I want you guys to be active in the community. Like Miss Hillsborough is one person, but there's so many more that could do so many great things. And I believe in America. I love America. I was, only in America can I come from the situation I came from to, prospering the way I am. So I just want everyone to know that I really, really need your support. And I know I have it already, but I just want you guys to get involved. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Well, I think it's great. And Miss Vita here, she just popped up with a message. She is my SAS sister. She said, great candidate. Blessings to you during this process. So
thank you so much. That's humbling. Thank you.
She's an amazing, and she was first runner-up last year. So she's such an amazing person. So I can't wait to see her in July, because so many of our things have been canceled. But I can't wait to see her in July and spend that weekend. And if you don't have anything to do, our pageant is I'm gonna do a plug myself. July 12th at the Orlando, the Westgate Resort and Spa in Orlando, Florida. And I went last year before I even joined this amazing organization in Florida, because I was in Virginia. And Jackie and David Siegel, they are actually the directors of the pageant. Well, Jackie is, and she's an amazing woman. It's at her resort, and it is going to be such a great weekend, such a great day. and we get to see who will be the next Mrs. Florida for America, next Mrs. Florida for America World, because we've got 5 crowns going, and the next Miss Florida for Miss America. I got to get that straight. This is so bad that I'm not. It's so new to me. That category is so new to me that I get tongue tied all the time. But we've got some beautiful women there. So if you guys are interested, contact me. If you want to know more about Jesse for Congress, that is his handle name. And I just found out that our names are our handle names the other day. I had no clue. I'm still catching up with all this lingo. So yeah, that's how bad I am. So if you guys want to follow him, ask him any questions. If you're from Hillsborough County, this is definitely the guy to talk to. If you want to know more, you have a small business and you want to know more about the stimulus packages, the everything that has to do with that, he's the guy to talk to. There's just so much information right here with us too. If you guys want to know about pageantry, here I am. So we've got a lot of he's politics, I'm pageant. So if you guys want to know, you have any questions or anything, definitely. Okay, Vita, she told me, here she go. Miss Florida for America.
You guys are making America great again.
Miss Florida for America. I call them our younger girls. It's for women who are not married. What I'm competing for are married division. The other girls, and you don't have to be young to do it. You can just be single, divorced, whatever, and you can actually compete. And they are some incredible girls. I'm so in awe with these girls, and I'm in awe with my SAS sisters. Everybody is on the ball. They're doing their thing. I really feel that you and I have the same, we have the same mission to go and do what we need to do in order to be elected that crown or that seat, whatever we need to do and make sure we do it positive. So I want to thank you so much, Jesse, for reaching out, coming on today and educating my followers on what you're all about and how you want to help your community. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. You have a great day.
And we will talk later because we're going to be doing some stuff together, right?
Definitely.
You froze for a second. We'll be talking
I look forward to it. Don't forget.
Huh?
Yes, we will. We will be talking later. We have a lot of work to do in the community, and I look forward to working with you hand in hand. Thank you.
Okay, Jesse. Have a wonderful Friday and a wonderful weekend, okay?
You too. Bye.
Bye.